Hello, and welcome to Review Saturdays. I'm going to try to start doing this every Saturday. I am going to get around to start redoing the Hellraiser. I am so sorry. But anyway, this week I kind of figured I would go in and talk about a movie review. I'm going to talk about The Outlaw King, currently on Netflix. Got a chance to watch it, figured I'd give you my thoughts. I won't do any spoilers till the end, but we'll see where we go. I do want to thank y'all for hitting us up on Trek Tuesdays. I'm enjoying it so far. By all means, take a listen to that. Give me any of your thoughts on that as far as we're concerned. But let's talk about The Outlaw King. If you've seen Braveheart, this has nothing to do with it. William Wallace is a hugely minor character. He's more mentioned than shown, outside of two instances where they mention that he is out hiding somewhere after the defeat. And again, you do see his body as it's being displayed, because whenever you're drawn and quartered, it's just not a way to kill somebody. It's also a terror tactic, because what you normally do is you send the body parts out to certain parts of your empire or certain parts of the rebellious parts that you're going after and put them on display. This is what happens to you if you rebel against the crown. So, and it incites a riot. So again, it is something that is shown. Again. Now, this is a Chris Pine movie. He plays our titular Robert the Bruce. If you take a look at the quick snippet that they show on Netflix, it's basically him staring off into space, which he does get a good bit of it. Again, I am part Scott-Irish, so I do have some heritage here, believe it or not. And overall, I won't get into the history of it. I kind of want to look at it as a movie, but it basically goes from the Scottish, basically their surrender after the when Edward comes up and besieges Stirling Castle. All the Scots basically agree to go ahead and kneel to the crown. Edward I kind of puts his foot on Scotland's throat a little bit, which, I mean, of course he is. I mean, they've got to pay for the war, basically. And Robert the Bruce kind of gets a little bit tired of it, starts looking at everybody sideways. You still have him and another character that are still vying on who should be the true king of Scotland. The Bruce decides he's going to rebel, and he tells his other partner and says, what you think? You want to join up? And again, the guy basically tells him, well, you just told me how I can just become the king of Scotland, because I'll tell Edward that you're going to revolt, and he'll make me the king. So I'll take the crown. Thank you. I appreciate that. Needless to say, he gets stabbed, because being stupid is a capital offense, my personal opinion. And out goes Robert the Bruce. He goes out, runs off, gathers his forces, and we begin our rebellion. It's a fairly quick movie, believe it or not. But it's a movie that needs a new transmission, because the parts that shouldn't take very long take very little time at all. The parts that drag horribly. There are some parts in this movie that just, if you don't know the historical aspects, they don't make a whole lot of sense. Like, there's one part where the Prince of Wales says he's going to take down Robert the Bruce no matter what, and he grabs two swans. And if you don't know the historical aspect, it's a funny scene. He looks like a complete idiot where he's holding up two swans and goes, "By these swans, I swear." And there's no context as to why. It is something that you actually should do, but it's not told to the viewer if you don't know anything. But, what do I know? There's a part where they talk about raising the dragon. Well, okay, that, again, there's very little context thrown in there. But let's kind of break it down here. As far as acting, it's all acted very well. You'll kind of drive yourself crazy picking at the people that were in Game of Thrones. Stannis Baratheon once again plays a king here, which is always fun. He plays Edward I. Again, the guy from Braveheart just nailed the character from what you think an English monarch is, but Stannis does a great job as well. Also has one of my favorite characters from, now I'm drawing a blank. I'm so sorry. I hate when I do this. Whenever they did the Popes, the Borgias, the the redheaded guy from the Borgias. He's in this, plays an exceptional role. Of course, being a movie about Scotland, you've got to have the older dude from Braveheart as well. He's in there. He plays a fairly minor role, but of course he's there. But it's kind of funny how many people you'll see from Game of Thrones are the ones that you think may be from William Bones. Chris Pines doesn't do a bad job. I do kind of have a bit of an issue with the way he acts. There is a big difference between just looking and staring and looking as if you're lost. And I hate to say the term, but it's a term you kind of learn. Mouth breather. When you just stand there staring at something that's going on with your mouth wide open, that doesn't exactly give you a regal exterior. And it's my biggest problem with Chris Pine. Drives me up the wall. Why the director didn't say, yeah, Chris, we're going to staple your beard shut. Stop doing that. But the amount of time he spends with his mouth open just staring at stuff drives me up the wall. The rest of the cast, of course, is very well done. It's all very well acted. Again, Stannis Baratheon is an awesome actor, and he does a great job here. The Prince of Wales does a fairly good job. His wife does a good job. I mean, they're all well acted. I mean, Chris Pine, if you really wanted to break it down, he's the weakest link. But it's not that bad, to be quite honest with you, because again, a lot of the action goes around him for the first half of the movie, and by the time you're already sold. The action scenes are very well done. They're very realistic. I will say, and you can do searches on YouTube for other videos about this, a lot of the weapons are really well done. Outside of fire arrows, which if you watch medieval videos on YouTube, you're going to learn is just ignorant. And yeah, they're ignorant. I do find it hilarious that you're launching fire arrows at a stone castle. Okay. That's, even if fire arrows did work, that's stupid. Again, they're using a lot of axes, which considered everybody here is in mail, which I love. None of this studded leather bolt-on crap. It's much more realistic looking. Again, everybody's in mail. Everybody's in coifs. Everybody's got gambesons on. As a medieval reader that I am, I love the history of it. I absolutely love it. It looks so much more realistic. Outside of the people that are sitting there just wearing, leg armor and stapled together leather button stuff. You've got bucklers, you've got accurate axes, even got accurate bows. Nobody's breaking out crossbows as like these magical killing things. It's, from a historical accuracy point, not talking about the battles and all that, it's very well done. The fact that they're going after how to take people off horses is very historically accurate. The way they're defeating a cavalry charge is very good. Again, some of the tactics don't make any sense because you've got them launching arrows in the middle of a fight instead of at the very beginning. You've got people abandoning defensive fortifications for no particular reason. Makes no sense whatsoever. The very ending, which I'll circle back around after slight spoiler tag at the end, we'll talk about. But overall, I thoroughly enjoyed Outlaw King. I was kind of worried about watching it. I'm really glad I did. I do highly recommend it. I don't see a lot of rewatchability on it, to be quite honest with you. I would be very interested in watching it again, only if there was a commentary track or a breakdown. But as far as throwing it on just to watch it as is, not really, tell you the truth. I much would get more entertained by a documentary about it more than the movie. But your mileage may vary. I'm going a solid 7 here. Again, outside of the very ending, I do like the way it's wrapped up. It makes a lot of sense, to be quite honest with you, and is a bit historically accurate, which was nice. But kind of given the what happens to him post this film, I think it would have probably been a very good series, to be quite honest with you. Had Netflix made it like a mini-series, I think it could have been very well done, especially with the money and the time they put into this. But to tell you the truth, I don't know if I would take it as better than Braveheart, just because Mel Gibson's a much better actor than Chris Pine, which, again, duh. But I do think I think it's definitely on par. I think Braveheart's better rewatchable, but it's not as historically accurate. So I would probably, like I said, I'll go a solid 7 with it. By all means, have a disagreement, throw it in the comments here. And thank you for watching. Hit me up on 7poundbag.com. Take a look at all our writings. I will see you Tuesday for Trek Tuesdays. But spoiler for all y'all that want to run real quick. Here's your fair warning. Get out now while you still can. Go read our website. NFL Roundtable went up yesterday. Okay, so spoilers. Very end. The king gets beaten and they let him run. There is no chance whatsoever in any historical sense of the word that ever happens. You captured knights. You captured lords. You would dang sure capture a king. If you've ever played chess, you don't capture the king. You put him in a position where you can't do anything, where you capture him. You don't knock it over. You remove every other piece on the board. Yes, I know the queen is the most powerful piece on the board. Actually, when it was originally made, that was the chancellor. But anyway, you don't ever knock over the king. Usually the king capitulates on the moment. Okay, you beat me. I'll tip it over. That means I've lost. I withdraw. I surrender. You don't ever stab it like you do a rook and knock it off the board. That just, you don't kill kings. You don't let kings go. You capture them home for ransom. The Bruce, had this ever happened realistically, would have captured him and made sure that, he made darn sure he got for one thing, he'd get his wife and kid back. You think he wouldn't trade it for his wife and kid? I mean, what kind of ignorant crap is this? Well, they still got my wife and kid captured, so I'll tell you what, just go ahead and run on back. No. I mean, you would first off get your wife and kid back immediately, if not sooner. You would get your wife's family back because I guarantee you they'd all die, to be quite honest with you, considering they're English. And second off, we're going to talk about boundaries. And then I'll let you go. But I'm sorry. I mean, you have the older king dead. You've got the Prince of Wales, which apparently is his only kid. So either you decapitate the English royal family, back when that meant something, or I'm getting everything I want, if not more so. I mean, that's just stupid to let him run. And to me, it really hurt the movie because you sit there and you look at it and oh, that is just beyond stupid. I mean, when I watch it, I came out of my chair oh, you ignorant fool. But anyway, like I said, other than that, I enjoyed it. Throw your thoughts at the bottom. If you're a history guy like I am, by all means, throw down what you think you could have gotten out of Edward. True, it may not have lasted as soon as he got back in his own. He may have marched back up north. But at least I'd have my wife and kid. But anyway. And again, the whole sacking my own castles didn't make a whole lot of sense. Burn everything, again, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Especially considering with the size of Edward's army that he brought up there's no way you're storming that kind of castle. And especially as easy it was to take him. I mean, you had 3 guys basically break open a castle. That was just ignorant. But, I mean, minor quibbles there. But, y'all mileage may vary. Throw your comments in the bottom. Hopefully next Saturday I will see y'all next week. And thank you for watching. And leave me any comments. Bye.